What do you think the number one mistake is that new private lenders make? Think about it. I'll wait. You think it's being in the wrong state? You think it's not getting licensed? Do you think it's lending in their personal name? What do you think? Now, from my experience, and this is just from the new lenders I've talked to, the new lenders I've taught, the lenders that I've worked with in my private lending accelerator, the number one mistake that I see with new private money lenders is not securing the collateral. And I know this seems so basic, right? You would think that, I'm doing a loan and I'm concerned about default, so I should protect myself and protect my money by securing the collateral. Or so you would think. But it's actually very common. Now, I don't actually know what the reason is, like why new lenders make this mistake so often, but it happens all the time. And there's a couple ways you can secure your collateral, right? If it's real estate based, you can place a lien on the property, file a deed of trust or a mortgage deed. If it is a non-real estate piece of collateral, you can file a UCC1 financing statement. There's other ways to make the deal more secure as well. So, join our community, learn about those ways. But the point is, not securing the collateral is the biggest mistake that I see. And how this shows up, I'll actually tell you a story because I made this mistake before. As a new lender, I was excited about doing the loan. It was someone that I kind of knew, had worked with before, that I trusted, and the numbers were great. I actually did due diligence, and so I felt comfortable, actually. I felt like based on the numbers, based on the collateral, based on everything, I was like, this looks good. Now, the irony here is that a lot of times when you're doing a real estate based private money loan and you're doing your due diligence, part of that due diligence is evaluating the collateral, right? Because you want to make sure there's enough assets and enough value in those assets to actually recover if the borrower defaults. But the crazy part is if you don't actually take those next steps to secure the loan, you've wasted your time. You've done nothing, okay? And it's not about, one thing that I hear a lot is like, well, I trust them. I think they're going to pay me back, or, this is my brother, I gave him the money, whatever. I know this person, it's my business partner, all those things. That's fine. But sometimes when things go wrong, it's not because the person was intentionally trying to harm you. Things I've seen are, maybe the market shifts and the property can't sell for as much as anticipated. Maybe something happens to the borrower, who is the individual who owns that company, and you need proof that you are actually owed money. It could be anything. So anyway, back to my story. So I gave this loan. I trusted the person. The numbers looked great, and I was ready to move forward. Now, I knew the property address. I had all the information that I needed, and this was a fix and flip loan. So they had already acquired the property and they just needed the loan for the rehab. And that's where I came in as a private money lender. Now, I had my promissory note agreement. The loan wasn't even for that long, so I didn't feel like I needed a much more substantial loan agreement. I thought the promissory note's enough. I got a personal guarantee. The final step of going to the county recorder's office and securing the lien, didn't do it. Now, when the borrower defaulted, I later ended up modifying that loan. And so, it's fine. But even before that though, not by not securing the loan against the property, that borrower can just sell it without having to pay me, as opposed to when they're trying to sell the property and this lien is discovered by the title company, they're forced to pay me back through escrow and the closing process, as opposed to me having to come and be like, hey, did you sell the property? Did you sell the property? Did you sell the property? Right? So that's another benefit of securing the loan. Like your interests are just protected, right? Assuming that they're doing things the right way, because they can always sell and not engage the title company. That's definitely possible. But a lot of times with flippers, they're selling with people buying their primary residence, and they usually use an escrow company and a title company. So they're going to see that lien if you place the lien. If you ain't placed the lien, you have not put the public on notice that you are owed money. That's literally as simple as it is. Like, you can do the loan, and if no one knows that you are owed money, if something happens to that borrower, if something happens to that property, your loan is unaccounted for, okay? Now, of course, you can still come and say, you know, I have this right, I have this document to prove that I gave this loan. You can definitely still do that. No one's stopping you from doing that, but it's not automatic as it would be if you were on that property as a lien holder, you know what I mean? And even being a lien holder, of course, it's not automatic. Like, you could be fifth in line and, you know, maybe there's not enough equity in the property for you to recover, but I'm assuming that, you know, you're first or second in line, you filed on time, you filed correctly, the public is on notice, the buyer's on notice. Like, there's no way to wiggle out of this, okay? That's what I'm talking about. And ideally, I mean, you're over collateralizing the loan anyway, right? So even if there's not enough equity in the property, you know, we want to do like 2 to 3 times the value of the loan and collateral value, because something could happen to the collateral too, you know? Collateral could go down in value, and we don't want that to affect our ability to recover the money that we invested. So that is the number one mistake that I see. And I think part of it is a boundary issue. Like, if the person is doing a loan to family or friends, they feel like by placing a lien on the property or those assets, they are essentially saying to that borrower, I don't trust you. I don't believe that you are going to pay me back. And I think there's some reframing that needs to happen. It doesn't have to be, I don't trust you, I don't believe you're going to pay me back. It's more of, in the event that something happens to you, you know, God forbid, but if something happens to you, you know, your family doesn't know that we had this arrangement. I just wanted to be clear to the public, to everybody involved, that I have a right to this collateral because of the loan. Like, it's not about our relationship, we're good. It's really just what the lawyers require. I mean, I just say, blame it on your lawyer, right? Oh, my lawyer just requires this. Like, it's just part of the process. It's not personal. Just, I had to do it. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Like, but I know you're gonna pay me back. Yeah, I'm not worried about that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, do what you gotta do. But the point is, secure the loan. I mean, I feel like I need to get a shirt that's just like, don't forget to secure the loan. Hashtag secure the loan. Secure the loan. Did you secure the loan? Secure the loan. Like, I just see it all the time. I heard someone say in one of our webinars today, we were talking about equipment financing, and which is basically giving these smaller loans to business owners who, you know, may need industrial equipment, or maybe they need to buy something like a vending machine or a crane for their project, whatever it is. And we were talking about filing a UCC1 financing statement with the Secretary of State and or the County Recorder's Office. And she was like, that sounds like a lot of work. And I was like, no, it's not that much work, actually. It doesn't take a long time to do. Some places even let you do it online. It's just one extra step. And I think taking that extra step could also be just like a laziness, procrastination type thing. So like, aside from the boundary, like if you actually know you need to do this and you want to do it, just that little bit of laziness. But it'd be those same people that didn't take that extra step that's gonna come running and be like, oh no, something happened, the borrower didn't pay me, what do I do, help? Like, come on, man, you had one job, secure the loan. That's it. Like, secure it with collateral. That's the thing, okay? Do the thing. I know. I just feel so crazy even just saying this, because it's like one of the fundamental aspects of private money lending. Like, you have to secure the loan. No bank, I mean, other than credit cards. No, credit cards, they ain't really securing date, but they can report that on your credit. You know, they have other means of affecting consequences. But as a private money lender, your best bet is going to be to have the proper documentation and to secure the loan with appropriate collateral. So we talked about for real estate loans, that is, you know, filing a deed of trust or a mortgage deed in the county where the property is located. You know, assuming your borrower owns the property, you definitely need to find that out, work with a title company, make sure that's the case. If it's not real estate based, you know, if you're securing it against, you know, their equipment, their business assets, whatever it is that's not real estate, then we're talking about a UCC1 financing statement. You can file that with the Secretary of State's office and or the county recorder's office, depending on where you are. Some places let you do it online. And then in terms of the amount of collateral, like if your loan is for $10,000, you don't want to secure it against collateral that's worth $10,000. Look at $20,000 or $30,000 worth of collateral to secure your loan, because one, something could happen to that collateral and that will literally wipe you off the map. Two, the value of the collateral could decrease. And so you want to make sure you're protected. There are situations where lenders secure their loans with up to 20 times the collateral. I mean, it's what you're comfortable with is your private lending business. So you need to be a good steward of it. Make sure you're protecting yourself, protecting your money, protecting your legacy. Just secure the loan, okay? If nothing else that you took from this, please secure the loan. Tell your friends, secure the loan.